What's up, Brokers Playbook family? This is your boy Simeon, and I am dropping a huge episode right now. I just had one of my favorite humans, Alex Lombardi, in the studio, and she is doing a really special community building event. She's bringing together her entire InspireHER community to Sicily, Italy this summer. I had her on the show. She discusses everything she is working on, why she's working on it, and the select people she's bringing on the trip. What do they look like? What are they looking for? And more importantly, what are they going to come back with after this transformational trip? I can't wait to hear your feedback on the show. All right, Broker Nation, let's get started. I'm here with the wonderful and beautiful Alex Lombardi. Alex, welcome to Broker's Playbook for this very, very special episode.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be around you, Simeon.
Well, I'll tell you all, the reason this one is special is not only because it's Alex Lombardi who runs a very successful business practice as a realtor. She also runs a business mastery program. You're a coach. And you've coached many to reach their potential and to reach their heights per se. And right now, you're doing something specifically for the community, for the business community, for the realtor community, but specifically for all the sisters in the business.
That's right.
You're organizing a very, very special event in Sicily, in Italy. And you're doing that this summer.
Yes.
You want to tell me a little bit about what brought you to want to do something? Because it's not every day you hear somebody put together a retreat. And when you're doing it, it means something. And the people you're trying to bring together, I think something really, I know a little bit about it, obviously. But tell me a little bit what your thought process was in putting together such a impactful event.
So I've been selling real estate now. This year will be 17 years, and it's been a great business, and it's afforded me the opportunity to travel and to live the kind of life that I've wanted to live. I've fortunately, and with a lot of hard work, been successful at it, but it doesn't give me, it's not where my passion lies. Where my passion lies is with helping people, and specifically women, because I'm a woman, and I got into this business as a single mom. And through the years, I've experienced and overcome many challenges and obstacles around that. And sometimes people look at me and say, oh, you're so amazing or you're so incredible. But there's nothing that I'm doing that's unique. I'm just really good at doing it. And there's different processes and ideas and things that have come to me along the way that have brought me along that path. So I want to share those experiences with people. I did a bunch of it about 20 years ago. I started working in self-development, specifically taking programs and actually training to lead and coach people in transformational education. So really like digging deep, getting inside, looking at what stops you, looking at what's possible. And so because, like I said, real estate is not where my passion lies, I wanted to marry my love for real estate, because that's a sandbox I play in, and I deal with women and entrepreneurs all the time inside of that sandbox.
Yeah.
I wanted to marry my love for real estate with my passion for helping other people, specifically women. And 2 years ago, I was working in Sicily. I've had the opportunity to travel there quite frequently. I think I've been to Sicily about 17 times now. And last year, I was working for a brokerage in Sicily.
Are you a Siciliana? Like, is this
I
your
am
background?
not. I am not. I'm native to Italy. I was actually born in Rome.
Got it.
I was baptized at the Vatican.
Nice.
Yes, I'm supposed to tell people.
I mean, that's a pretty special place.
It is a special place. But I, many years ago, for the first time, I was in Italy. I was on vacation, and I had a 4-day break in my travels, and I didn't want to stay in Rome. And so I opened the map of Italy, and I saw Sicily, and I said, I'm going to go eat a cannoli. So I booked a trip to Sicily, and when I got there, I was blown away. It wasn't what I expected. I'd seen all these episodes of The Godfather
Yeah.
expecting this, and it wasn't that. And I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the places. I fell in love with the beaches. I fell in love with the food. Just everything about this. I think it's like Italy's best kept secret. And there's many places that you can experience there that are not well known. So when I was there 2 years ago, working for this brokerage, I was doing training and development for agents, business planning and goal setting, which is what I'm really good at. What I'm really good at, I think almost uniquely good at, is really pushing people beyond where they normally stop. When I was there and I was posting on social media and sharing my journey, my experience with people, all these women were reaching out to me saying, next time you go to Sicily, I want to come with you. Can I come with you? So I said, hang on a second here. I think I've got something. So I decided if I'm going to take a bunch of women to Sicily with me, I'm not going to make it a girls' trip. I want to create something that's going to impact people's lives, like transform their experience of themselves.
Did you have a transformational experience yourself there? Where did those two come in? Like, did you have a really good time there? What inspired you for this place?
So this place, because I know it. And when you travel somewhere, it's always best to travel with somebody that's from there or that knows the place, because they'll take you to places where you wouldn't normally go. We'll talk a little bit about the retreat, but what I can tell you is that all of the places that we're going are probably not places that your travel agent would tell you to go.
Got it.
And even if your travel agent said, go to the Valley of Temples, which is one of the places we're going to, and is a tourist attraction, we're going to the Valley of Temples, but we have a female archaeologist who's going to be speaking with us about the goddess parts of the Valley of Temples, the feminine side, and we're gaining access to the catacombs of the Valley of Temples, which are not open to the public, because I know a guy, right? It's that kind of a feel. Everything we're doing is an experience, and they're experiences that I experienced myself, and they did transform me. We're going to visit, one of the places we're going to is called the Teatro Andromeda, and to give you sort of a feel of what's going on with the whole event, all of the workshops and training sessions that we're doing, there are 8 workshop sessions that we're going to be holding throughout the 8 days, 7 nights, 8 days, 7 nights, are all tied to the training. So I went to see this Teatro di Andromeda, which is the tallest theater in the world. So it sits at 1,000 meters above sea level. And when we went up there, we were literally in the clouds. Like when we were leaving, the clouds were around our heads. And
that's a special,
but also too, so this is
place.
Open air theater with 130 seats, kind of these stones that are placed very sporadically. And when I researched the place, I thought, what is this place? Why is it called this? The stones that are the seats in the theater are placed in the exact formation of the constellation of Andromeda. Who's Andromeda? A Greek goddess who was enchained to a rock by a monster. Perseus came, fell in love with her, slayed the monster, freed her from the rock. So we're doing a workshop up there.
They may have even made love.
They probably did.
Possible.
I would have.
It's possible.
But we're doing a workshop up there about the chains that we impose upon ourselves. What are our limiting beliefs, our fears? So we're doing this very intense and very deep. We're having these deep conversations and giving the women opportunities to really think about stuff, but all set in this surrounding, which just makes it that much more magical and mystic. When you're in a place that's providing you the environment to put you into the headspace that you need to be to think what you need to think, that's what makes it more special. It's different than sitting in a classroom at the convention center talking about your limiting beliefs versus...
It's very, very different.
Yeah.
It's inspiring. In many cases, the setting that you're in, there's a reason why people who are actual thinkers and or thought leaders, they always leave their office when they're going to do a big whiteboard. The reason you leave your office is to leave your office thoughts behind and discover new thoughts. And new thoughts can only be thought either if there's a different setting of music, of rhythm, of energy in the room.
Environment.
I personally like to be around water. I am blessed to have a membership at a yacht club, and I am there all summer doing all my business thinking with my team literally staring at the water.
Well, it's funny that you say you have to pull yourself away
to.
in order to get there. So here's the thing. You're going to pull yourself not only away for the afternoon, go to a spa for the day. You're leaving the country for 1 week.
And while you're leaving, why you're leaving.
Exactly.
So you're preparing the ground. If you think of tolling the ground, like you're going there prepared for change.
Yeah.
So you have time to think about it and time to come to terms with change. And I think it's brilliant, which is why I really wanted to feature this. Tell me again when it is, because right now, this episode that we're recording right now should air within a week.
Okay.
And we're at the beginning of April 3rd, I believe, today. When is the travel happening?
So the event is happening from July 10th to the 17th.
So there's a few good months ahead to find the right people.
Of course, we're actually halfway there. So I can have the event is designed for 25 women. The reason it's 25 is because I've rented an entire country hotel. So we have the whole place for ourselves. There's a pool and 14 rooms, and we have 8 servants that are going to be. So think Big Brother, but in Sicily, right? And we're going to be leaving.
And a little bit better.
And a little much better. I
mean, the wine's going to be decent.
Exactly.
The food just might be okay.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll have a decent cannoli. Find a decent cannoli there.
No mac and cheese and hot dogs.
No. And well, it's funny. The woman who owns the hotel, it is a family-owned business. She is an entrepreneur herself. The hotel is only open from June 1st to September 30th, and they pride themselves on 0 kilometer. Like everything is local produce, local wines, local food, everything like that.
Now, I know you're quite selective, and this is going to be, I want to speak to the exclusivity of the food and the drink and what you guys are going to do. But I know you're quite selective as to who's coming.
Yes.
So with only 25 seats and you being halfway there, we're talking about a dozen more women.
Yeah.
How does a woman kind of understand right now listening if she's the right person for this? So who are you what kind of people are you trying to put in these seats?
Okay, so right now, I'll tell you who I already have in the seats, and then that'll give us maybe an idea, and then I'll go a little bit deeper. So right now I have women my youngest woman is 27, my oldest woman is 56. I have real estate agents. I have a ballerina who now owns a dance studio and just wrote a book. I have a woman who works as a CEO of a company. I have a woman who is the executive assistant to 5 CEOs of a company. So who this is for, originally I was saying for women in business. But what I've realized is that when you reach a certain point in your life, definitely a woman that lives in a business environment. This is not an event for, say, a stay-at-home mom or somebody that just wants to get away from their husband and kids for a week. This is for women who have amazing lives. They're already dynamic, but now they want more. They're at the cusp of something. They're at a point in their life where they're looking for something else. Or they are entrepreneurs and they're looking to be surrounded by other women who have already led successful businesses, maybe who have overcome some challenges that they possibly are currently having. So the magic is not just me talking at people. There's going to be magic happening inside of the conversations, in the quiet times, in the empty spaces inside of the community. And that's another thing that makes this exclusive, because you're not coming to listen to me talk. You're coming to experience with another 25 women who are playing the same game as you, your life, your next step, your next level.
That is pretty next level, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to identify, like, again, just to simmer the message down and really be able to attract the right persons in this case. If you are in business and or around business and you are kind of looking for a breakthrough personally and professionally.
100%.
Because I think those two, that kind of growth happens hand in hand.
That's the whole thing about so I lead a mastermind group called InspireHER, and this is our women. We talk about, because women, we talked about this earlier. This is not about excluding men. This is about acknowledging that women do things differently. We have, not better, not worse, we just have a different way of processing information. We have a different set of beliefs. We have guilt is different for us. We have this Wonder Woman syndrome where we think we have to do everything by ourselves. Men have that too. But when you reach out, when you
And
understand,
it's different. I think
Yeah.
I don't think we need to stress that, because if any man has a problem acknowledging how different our responsibilities are at work and at home, you're delusional.
yeah. Well,
So
the problem is with most women that are in business, we feel sometimes most of the time women feel like if you're gonna have a successful business, then you can't be a great mom, you can't be a great wife, you can't, or the other way around.
for sure,
What I say is you can have both.
sure.
You need to surround yourself with the right people.
No, but you are identifying the problem itself.
Exactly.
That is a mentality that is so deep ingrained.
Yep.
It's for the same reason that if I right now called my partner, my wife, and I said, I'm not coming home because I have a meeting, it's nothing. That's normal.
Yeah.
Nobody asks who's picking up Gabriel, who's cooking dinner, what else happened. It's natural that my wife will just pick up all that slack for me to make a meeting, because it's automatically assumed that, and this is grooming from way before I was born. We're talking about 2,000 or 4,000 years of damage here.
Yep.
So at least we can acknowledge systematic mindset. I'm not going to call it women's oppression. I'm not going to call it anything. Everybody can come to their own conclusions and
Yep.
their own realities, because I think there's a lot of empowerment in our homes now as well, for many different reasons. But let's not be delusional about what's the norm. If I were to call my wife right now, dollars to donuts, not coming home, got a meeting, okay, no problem, call me when you're done.
But
I
if your
can-
wife calls you,
Why?
yeah,
Wait, let me see if I can,
yeah,
because somehow I'm more important, or not. And I'm not saying it for that, but that's literally how life is today.
and the mindset of a woman is she probably wouldn't. It would take her a lot to even make that call, because she would be already dealing with her own guilt. Well, what I have to figure it out, and I have to pick up Gabriel because I'm the mom, and I have to cook because I'm
Yep.
the mom. So there is definitely, and again, it's not about a double standard or
no.
anything like that. It's just it's what it is. You and I both come from European backgrounds. This is very much ingrained in our
Very much so.
in our growth. And I wasn't raised in a family like that, but it's in society, right?
I was raised in a home where not only, that dynamic existed hard, but also the conflicting dynamic that my mother was the matriarch. So my mother had a bigger supporting role in business than my father, because she just learned English better quickly. And my father knew that he did not know English as well, so he leaned on her and built her confidence. So imagine how confusing, not for us, like we grew up in it, but like to them, like what my mother witnessed in her parents and what my father witnessed with his parents, these are all deeply ingrained things.
Exactly.
And to kind of cut the long story short, you're looking to take these power women already to a breakthrough.
Exactly.
What can they expect? And we're going to speak lastly to the food, because you were smart enough to bring cannolis here today, which I appreciate. As you can see, cannolis are a friend. We're going to speak about to the food that you're going to eat, because I just want to know.
Yeah. Okay.
But I want to know, what are these powerhouses going to bringing back inside their homes from a mental, spiritual, and leadership perspective? What should they be coming home with?
What they should be coming home with is a design of the life that they want to live and a game plan to get them there. That's what they're going to be coming home with.
Super clear.
Super clear. How they're going to be coming home with that is they're going to have an opportunity to break down all of those fears, limiting beliefs, looking at acknowledging the accomplishments that they already have. This is for women who have already been through or have some experience in some sort of self-development. Like they're coachable. They're willing to think outside of what they already know. Get outside of their outside of their comfort zone, because that's where life begins. I say life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
Facts.
Right? Listen. If I went by what was normal, if I went by what was supposed to be, my mom was a seamstress. My father, God rest his soul, was a taper. I wasn't raised I wasn't born into, I was born in,
Abundance.
exactly, right? We worked.
Yes.
And, fortunately I had parents that didn't stifle me, but I shouldn't have the life I have right now, right? Like a bunch of things, the struggle, the mindset for sure. I never set limits on what was possible for myself. I created what I wanted my life to be, right? And I say you can let life happen or you can design and create the life that you want to live. And the choice is yours. So if we're talking about designing and creating it, you got to know what it is that you want first, right? And to understand what it is that you want, you have to dig deep. You have to think. We don't have time to think. The first thought you have is not your thought. It's somebody else's. And by the time you start, you have an opportunity to sit with it and really, dissect it and decipher it and put your opinions into it and your experience into it and ask other. We don't have time to do that because somebody's calling you, telling you that they're going to be home late for dinner and you have to go pick up Gabriel, right?
Facts.
So you don't have time to think. When you pull yourself away, what I've experienced in my life, and I've had the opportunity to do this, I've created the opportunity to do this. There was no luck around this. Whenever I've stepped away from my life for a minute and given myself an opportunity to think, given myself an opportunity to really, I don't say digest because when you digest stuff, it turns to crap, right? But really,
don't overthink then. Don't overthink.
Step away from everything. My father passed away in October. He died very suddenly. He was diagnosed. He went to the hospital with a fever.
May his memory be eternal.
It is. He's on my shoulder here, but went into the hospital with a fever. 2 days later, diagnosed. 16 days later, he died. And it was from September 1st to the end of the year. It was like my life was just running around, taking care of mom, making sure everything was okay. They were moving. Just a million things happened. Yeah. Then it was Christmas and I had to deal with my clients. So client gifts, I did 42 pop-bys to visit all my clients before Christmas because I'm committed to that. And then in January, on New Year's Eve, I left for Italy. I had to step away. And in those 3 weeks, I had the opportunity to just walk around. I didn't have to deal with my kids. I didn't have to deal with my mom. I didn't have to deal with the probate. I didn't have to deal with all these things. I was only looking at myself and looking inside.
Taking a breather.
Exactly. And then that's when ideas become clear. That's when you say, I really actually want that. Or I don't want that. And this is why this happened. And this is why I'm not having what I want here. I had the opportunity to push everything to the side, which is something that women have a very difficult time doing because you have this guilt of the responsibility, right? But that's when things move. That's when you experience transformation. Now, I was by myself. Now you're going to step away for a week and you're going to have 24 other women around you that are balls out, looking for something new, have already gone through something that you're probably already going through. Maybe we'll give you an inkling into something that's going to happen and you're going to know how to deal with it or be better prepared to deal with it when it happens to you, and create these relationships with these women that are going to stand for you. They're all there for the same reason. And it's not, I want to come, Alex, sign me up. We have to go through an interview process.
For sure.
So I interview the women. There's a series of questions that I ask them because this is not all just about what you're coming to get, but what are you coming to give? What's your unique gift, talent? What do you have to contribute to the tribe? What are you going to be able to bring to this event? What can you share with other people?
Well, I think that's the difference between somebody who's looking to build community and collaboratively grow, which is what you're doing, versus a standard company retreat that has an agenda of nothing else but a hospitality ticket. This is the cost, this is what needs to net, etc. You're doing it for the exact opposite reason, where you went and booked all the fighters of the fight first, and then you're like, oh shit, here we go now.
Yeah.
Who's coming? So your reasons are very different, your motivations are very different. I'm going to bring the intensity back down a notch. And I want you to tell me about what you're going to be eating over this 5, 6, 7 day period.
We're going to be, well, the like I said, the lady who owns the hotel is a family-run business. So her brother is a chef, and they only use local food. So
fine. So give it to me.
Wow. Sicilians are notorious for ricotta, so that's the big thing there. You've got the pistachio, the land of pistachio, basically. But I mean, the region that we're going to be staying in. So we're staying in the region of Ragusa, the province of Ragusa, 46 kilometers of white sandy beaches. The area is no, it holds the biggest agricultural production, like biggest production of fruits and vegetables in all of Europe, and they provide fruit, that
So we're
stuff all
talking
over.
caprese salad, Greek salad.
Yeah.
We're talking bufala mozzarella on top.
Melanzane is a big thing there. They
Oh,
have very typical different types of dishes for sure around.
they cook a lot in clay pots down there too, so they're gonna be baking some melanzanes for sure.
Well, sure. Well, the region is also famous for ceramic, right? The
Yes.
ceramic from Caltagirone is one of the most famous
The clay
ceramics in
pots.
all-
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
So those
Yeah.
are they cook incredibly.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna be going to a little bit of lamb? Are you guys taking to seafood?
Well, seafood is there. Your stuff still moves on the plate when you're eating it at night.
good.
That's like this is
good.
caught in the morning and in the afternoon. And the fish in Sicily tastes different. Like it just tastes different.
I've never had the pleasure yet.
Yeah.
I might be visiting Italy this year, so I'm hoping
We
to
gotta
be
get
able
you
to
over to
contribute.
Sicily. But the beauty of the experience is the women will have an opportunity to not only the sights, and I say the sights, the smells. Then there are natural wonders in Sicily that are
This is not
incredible.
a non-alcohol venue. You are going to be washing it down with some fine
Yes,
Italian
of
wine.
course. Well, you know what? So let's talk about that for a second
Sure.
because there obviously is an investment to the retreat, but I want women to travel the way I like to travel.
All right.
I don't
Little
like
influence.
That's right. I don't like roughing it. I don't want to be standing in the blaring sun at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, walking 2 kilometers to some tourist attraction. And I want a lot of time for myself. I don't want to be at 10:13. You got to be at the bus. Obviously, we have an itinerary. But there's every day is filled with free time. The
Love it.
workshops, some of them are in a workshop setting, so like a class or not classroom, but we'll be in a courtyard or maybe we'll be by the pool but some of the workshops are happening in transit, so we might do them on the bus while we're heading over to the Valley of Temples. We have a destination that we're visiting, which is the island of Ortigia, which is an island off of the island of Sicily. And that day, we're experiencing a boat tour in the harbor, a boat tour of the grottos, and a pericena on the boat at sunset. We're visiting the Ortigia market, which is famous for eating fresh food, fish prepared right at the moment in the market. Then we're doing a tour of the island. We're getting access to a castle in Ortigia that we're getting into because I know a guy. And then we're doing a workshop in the garden. The women are going to have free time during the day that day, and I'm going to send them on a scavenger hunt. So they're going to have to collect specific items that we're then going to come back and share in the garden the significance and the meaning of these objects that they've collected. So everything
Listen,
has
you're,
a meaning.
You're straight out of control. This is going to be off the charts, and it's kind of limiting to me
I
to
have
not
a
have
waiting
the
list
option.
of 75 men.
As you should, as you should, and you should actually really think about that. This sounds really good. I have one last question for you, just for the sake of time. We try to keep the episodes into that kind of car ride to work from home kind of time of that 30 to 45 minutes. Last question for you, Alex, is for the 99.999% of the population that cannot join you there.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 3 tips on how somebody that's not going to Sicily this year with you or on their own or don't have the luxury of stepping away for 5 days, what can women, let's stick to that actually, do right here today to be able, what is your playbook per se for somebody to be able to just unhinge for even a minute, have some time for themselves? What kind of mental series does one follow to gain some of that value right here in the backyard, down a hiking trail close to their home? What can they do?
Can I give you 4 instead of 3?
Please do.
Okay. So I call this the science of dreams fulfilled. This is how you fulfill on anything. So taking the time away, first of all, obviously. But if you can take that time, whether it's a minute, an hour, well, a minute's not enough, but a minute, an hour, a day, whatever that may be, there are four key things that people need to look at if they want to reach any obstacle. The first thing is that they have to believe, right? You have to have faith. You have to understand that whatever you think is possible is actually achievable in one way or another, or in one way or another. The intention to do what's necessary in order to move towards the achievement of those things. The third thing is action. You have to take an action. Nothing moves without action. An action that you take or that you don't take will impact your life, right? Don't brush your teeth. It's going to impact your life.
100%.
Right? So the most primed vehicle, we're talking about your car, Ferraris, stuff like that. It's not going to move until you put your foot on the gas, right? So what actions
An
can
idea
you start?
without action is a dream. It's just that simple.
Right.
Otherwise, it's a plan.
Listen,
An idea with action is a plan and a strategy. An idea with no action, la la land.
Yeah, well, the first step's not going to get you where you want to go, but it's going to move you away from where you are.
And put you in the direction.
Okay? And then you know what, Simeon? If you go in the wrong direction, who cares? Turn around. Like, listen, nobody makes a decision going, that is the wrong decision, I'm going to do that. Every time you make a decision, you think it's the right one. Guess what? Sometimes you're not right. Right?
Most of the time, you're not right.
But you know what? Everybody we don't have always the skill of making the right decision, but everybody has the opportunity to take a decision and make it right. Okay? So turn around. Fork in the road, you go right, it's the wrong way, come back, go left.
All the winners on this planet since the beginning of time have one unique skill: change direction.
Mm-hmm.
Analyze, plan, pivot, and move. And again. Because every single loss is a lesson.
Yep.
And every lesson needs to be addressed.
Yep.
Winners will always win because they have no problem with loss. They have no problem with failure. They see it as part of the journey. They don't even acknowledge it. I never look at something as a failure. Oh, sorry, that didn't work. Okay, pass it over here. I don't give it the energy. People get paralyzed by a bad result.
Who said in life there shouldn't be problems? That's why we're messed up, because we think in life there shouldn't be problems. Then a problem happens and we go, oh my God, what's going on? If your context was in life there are problems and then a problem happens, you're like, okay, well, that's supposed to happen. Now what do I do? So belief, faith, intention, action, and then the most important thing, and the thing that everybody misses, and I'm talking to women and I'm talking to men and I'm talking to everyone right now. Everything that you try to do, you can multiply and get further faster with enrollment. You need a winning team. So we get stuck in the tyranny of how. You have an idea, because this is what happens. These women, everybody's going to go and think now.
Don't say
they're
who,
going to come up
if you
with
say
something,
who right now,
right?
And it's the book I'm reading
They're
right
gonna
now.
They're going to go, like, you're going to have an idea, and you're going to go, okay, how am I going to, this is a brilliant idea. How am I going to do this? Take out the how. Who's going to help me? So much faster.
Right now. I don't know if you've read the book or not, but if you discovered this on your own, because I'm reading this book and it's a mirror of my mind, just in words by someone else. It is called Who, Not How.
Yep.
Dan Sullivan, I think, is the author.
Yep.
I'm reading it right now.
Yep.
Who, Not How. Yep. You just rephrase an entire section of the book.
Yep. Think about it.
It is the personality of specific people. Maybe we share specific traits. But if this message right now resonates with you, I hope to the people that don't quite understand it, really invest the time to understand the concept of who, not how.
Yep.
Every situation, if you involve the right people, has a solution 10x, 100x more than you would ever be capable of doing it on your own.
But that's even the second step, because the first step is you have to understand that, you know what? I want to do something. Why can't it be we want to do something? I want to do something. The first thought should be, who's going to help me do this? Who can I enroll? And then you have to enroll people. And enrollment is having somebody else see what's possible. So in creating a possibility for somebody else and describing it to them in such a way that they're touched, moved, and inspired by what it is that you've created. I'm here because I shared the event with you and you were touched, moved, and inspired. So now you're my who. If I had to go, I want to share this with as many people as possible. I can only fit 25, but the message is still there. And, we'll do this again, and it'll be double the price next year, but we'll do this again. Right. The first thing that I did is I said, okay, who can help me? Who are the key people that I can reach out to, share this with, and if they believe in it and if they're enrolled in it, to help me get the word out. I'm one person.
Correct.
Right? But now I'm going and creating in my life.
Well, Miss Alex Lombardi, you're not one person. You're amongst a team of friends and networkers that all love you and appreciate you. I'm going to take the chance to thank the universe for today's time with you. It was great to have you. I hope that you have a strong day and week ahead. I look forward in sharing this with the entire Brokers Playbook community. I think all of our sisters in the community should really take a moment to take a look. Mm-hmm. As always, if you're looking for Alex Lombardi's playbook on business, on coaching, on anything whatsoever, she is going to be supplying us with a PDF that you can request from us or get it off the site at brokersplaybook.com. And it will be her 4 steps on making and implementing change in your existence, in your life, in your personal thoughts today. So long to the entire community. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Brokers Playbook podcast. For more of our content or for help leveling up your business, check us out at brokersplaybook.com, on YouTube, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.